Sorry for another long absence, and welcome to the Villa of Reduced Circumstances. So, very shortly after my last video, like 2 years ago, I was kicked out of that space by a shystery landlord who basically rented it out from under me to somebody who, at a higher price after I'd done a bunch of work to the building. And then within a short time of that, scrambling to get moved out, fortunately I got an opportunity to do a pretty big teaching gig traveling across the eastern U.S., and that just consumed enormous amounts of my time and energy. So that was a good thing. Things were looking better, picking up after being very much a pauper the previous few years. And then I think nobody needs any updates on the last 6 months. We all are dealing with some difficult new circumstances, which I guess trigger warning or disclaimer here, I don't buy any of it. This is my opinion. I'm not giving any recommendations to anyone, but I don't buy one word of this narrative that we're supposed to buy into, that this is some health crisis. To me, it completely comes across as a contrived, manufactured, engineered, diabolical scheme by corporate despots who, the verdict is in. There's information out there if you only go look to demonstrate that. It's inhuman what's being done to people. We've had probably 95% of our income canceled, so we're trying to figure out what to do, and we're forced to come up with some means of still getting workouts in. It's not just a privilege, it's actually a necessity, so long as I have my job to stay fit to do it, but also it's just my lifelong dealing with stress, anxiety, depression. Exercise has been key in that, so having some means of doing some resistance training has always been crucial for me. And I wanted to show the versatility I get out of this very simple rig that I actually found at a scrapyard. There were, 6 or 8 of these racks that some gym had gotten rid of. They're laying out there rusting. And I bought a couple of them at scrap prices and cobbled this thing together. And it's very versatile. There's a leg press up here again. I noticed there's a huge uptick in the number of people watching my leg press build videos. So if anybody wants to come back in the next week or two, I'll try to show that thing in action and talk about some design considerations. This rig I can also do with this. This is my pull-up bar, that chest supported row bar. I can also do inverted rows at pretty much any height that I want here. This space, I have a 10 by 10 space in this carport. I don't even have room for a bench to do any pressing movements, so I had to find some other option for chest work, and that's suspension training off of these, which again I can change my angles by quickly moving these chains. They hook into my catches here, like so. I just want to give a quick rundown. The chest supported rows, the older I get, the more I overwork my lower back doing my job. I have to protect it. If I want to do any sort of rowing motions, I have to take my lower back stabilization out of it. And so I can just move that down, and my entire body weight plus the load is just resting on the bench, nothing underneath to obstruct the motion. So I had to be extremely space efficient, but also material efficient, time efficient, money efficient. Like, we're broke. So I'd sold off my good weight plates a while back because I had a membership at a local gym the last couple years. But again, I went to this local scrapyard and found whatever cheap, heavy stuff I could that I could put on a bar. So I'll try to, I guess, talk through or showcase some of this stuff. If anybody out there, I imagine there are lots, over something like 40 million people are out of work, so That's a lot of lost gym memberships. That's I hate to think of that. It's a crappy situation, but don't go without. I mean, staying fit, it's important. It's important for your state of mind as well as your body. And I'll be glad if you have a question. I'll try to be more attentive to the comments, answering those inquiries. And that's just pro bono if it's a question here or there. But if anybody is interested in one-on-one coaching, Zoom, Skype, that kind of thing, something like $20 an hour, I got to keep a roof over my head, so let me know. My credentials, I should mention, while I would never assume that letters behind anyone's name is a true credential, many experts I don't find to be very, very trustworthy, certainly. But educationally, my degree is in biochemistry with emphasis in exercise physiology, and I've been a lifetime natural bodybuilder, resistance trainer, 29 years now, I think. Always remember, though, the only letters behind my name are BS. That's Bachelor of Science. So take that for what it's worth. I would say, though, that my heretical thinking it's not in spite of that, but because of that, in my kind of peak of development, I exceeded a sort of theoretical maximum of muscle development, of physique development, using Casey Butt's model. I'll talk about that in another post as well. I exceeded that by 10%. So for using methods that the white coats will tell you can't possibly work, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And critical thinking, data, personal experience, that's what informs my education in this topic. So thanks for tuning back in, and barring any further calamities, but who knows, right? It's the 2020 shit show, so we'll do our best.